I've called today's piece What Holds You Back, and I've been writing it in the run-up to the new year, when everybody's mind turns to new beginnings. But in fact, new beginnings are there all year round. They're there when you decide to make them happen. And making things happen is really the crux of what I'm thinking about. Belief is an incredibly strong force. And I'm not talking about belief in terms of religion, though for some that is a powerful but separate force. I'm talking about your capacity to believe, a skill that in some needs development. And I say it's a skill because it's a tool that you can use to develop, modify, or completely change your own life. Through history, people who have believed in something in particular have made much greater progress than anyone around them would have imagined possible. If you believe in something, an idea, a theory, a cause, you'll automatically feel differently than someone who does not share that belief. Since you hold a particular belief, you'll feel differently than those who do not share the belief. Perhaps an example would help me express this more clearly. Long ago, there was a person who believed that slavery was wrong. And they believed this when those around them thought it was just a normal situation, something that had existed for centuries. It was a normal part of international commerce, and it was big. It was not the sort of thing that anybody thought of challenging. It was the status quo. For the person who thought it was wrong, it created strong feelings. It made them feel sympathy with those who were slaves, and made them feel that something had to change, made them feel that they had to take action. Those feelings naturally led to actions. First in a small way, perhaps writing letters, lobbying MPs, creating discussion groups, or raising a petition, so that over time those actions became larger, eventually international, and finally led to the repeal of slavery. In your personal world, you may have personal goals, ambitions. The difference between them staying as daydreams or becoming reality will depend on your belief in yourself. Do you believe that you can achieve? And if not, how do you convince yourself that what you want can be done? And if you don't believe in your own potential, others will pick up signals that you give out from the way that you act, from the way that you speak, from your body language, that you're not really serious about what you say you want to achieve. Once you truly believe in your goal, you'll feel differently about it. It will become a project, something real to be planned for and worked towards. At that point, people will start to notice a difference. They'll realise that you're sincere and that you are making efforts to make things happen. There's an old joke that you might find relevant here. Every day for 20 years, Max played golf. As he walked from hole to hole on the fairway, he would pray. And his prayer was very simple. Please God, let me win the lottery. And every day his prayer was heard, but nothing happened. And after about 20 years, Max thought about giving up on his prayer because it wasn't working. So one last time he stepped out into the middle of the fairway and he shouted, God, every day I pray to you and you still haven't let me win. And suddenly a voice that seemed to come from everywhere filled his senses and said, Max, meet me halfway. At least buy a ticket. Now, there are two things to note from this. First, if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same result, which is not the one that you want, do something else. Do almost anything, because that is obviously not working. To be making active movements towards whatever your goal is, you're far more likely to get others to support and assist you. If you're still in doubt, look over the last 100 years at the changes that have been made in every aspect of life. Every one of them started with one person's belief that something could be done. And if you're still in doubt, think about a boy born in a remote village who had very limited education resources. He had no money, who eventually became a lawyer, who became a political activist, who became a prisoner, who became president of his own country. Is that a big enough goal? And is your goal that big? Is your belief that strong? If it is, just imagine how far you can go. You are one person, just like all the other successful people through time and space. If your goal is good, but your belief is weak, call me and we can start working on finding your true potential. You can contact me through this webpage, or you can ring for an appointment. But if you don't start that snowball rolling down the hill, it'll never be anything more than a pebble. The choice genuinely is yours.